GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Paramedics have turned down the tentative Quebec deal and tragic road crashes claimed 3 lives across the province. Meanwhile, volunteers launch a 2-week St. Lawrence shoreline cleanup and brings an anime rave to the city this weekend. Over to you, Emma.
This Saturday presents the Montreal Anime Rave at the Old Port, starting at 8 p.m. with live DJ sets, cosplay contests, and themed food stalls.
Tickets are available online and at the venue, priced at $15 for general admission and $20 for VIP access, which includes a reserved lounge area.
The venue is reachable via the SDM Green Line, alighting at Place d'Armes Station, and a shuttle service runs from the downtown plaza beginning at 7:45 p.m.
Lots to get to. Let's begin, with more stories coming up after this vibrant evening event announcement and the community's creative energy. Here are our top stories. Montreal and Laval paramedics have voted to reject the tentative agreement negotiated with the Quebec government, with 60% opposition. The decision comes after last month's talks. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Paramedics in both Montreal and Laval have turned down a tentative deal the Quebec government reached with their unions last month. In a vote held on August 9th, members rejected the proposal, with roughly 60% casting ballots against it. The agreement, negotiated by the Provincial Health Ministry and the 2 municipal services, was meant to address wages, staffing levels, and overtime rules, but the vote signaled that many responders still feel the terms fall short of their expectations. Union leaders said they will return to the bargaining table, while the government has not indicated next steps. The result leaves negotiations ongoing as emergency services in both cities await a new proposal. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, Montreal's. 3 people lost their lives in separate traffic collisions across the province overnight. Police confirmed that each incident involved a single fatality, bringing the total death toll to 3. The first crash occurred on Highway 40 near the St. Lambert Bridge, where a driver collided head-on with a tractor-trailer. The second incident happened on Route 3 in the Laurentides region after a passenger vehicle slid on icy pavement and struck a guardrail. The third fatality was reported on Route 2E in the Eastern Townships, where a motorcyclist was hit by an oncoming car at an intersection. Authorities are investigating all 3 accidents and have not released details on the victims' identities. Road officials warned motorists to exercise caution during the early morning hours, citing lingering winter season hazards and reduced visibility today.
2 people lost their lives and a third was taken to hospital after a high-speed collision on a provincial highway in the Greater Quebec region earlier today. Police say a single vehicle crash involving a passenger car and a tractor-trailer triggered the pile-up near kilometer marker 37, leaving the car driver and a passenger dead at the scene. A lone passenger from the truck sustained serious injuries and was airlifted to a nearby trauma center. Emergency crews responded within minutes, closing the roadway for several hours while investigators documented the scene. Officials reminded that road collisions remain one of the leading causes of death in Quebec, prompting frequent emergency deployments across the province. The investigation continues, and authorities have not released further details about the cause of the crash. Families of the victims were notified and offered support by local services.
Morisset, a Quebec environmental group, launches a 16-day shoreline cleanup along Montreal's St. Lawrence River to curb pollution threatening whales, turtles, and other wildlife. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Volunteers from the Morisset Environmental Group have kicked off a 16-day shoreline cleanup along the St. Lawrence River in Montreal. Teams are sweeping litter, extracting plastic debris and sorting hazardous waste from the banks, aiming to clear the waterway before the weekend rush of boat traffic. Organizers say the effort targets pollutants that threaten local whales, turtles, and other marine species that rely on the river's ecosystem. The cleanup will run daily from today through early September, with community members rotating shifts to cover the entire stretch of shoreline. Officials hope the initiative will not only improve water quality, but also set a precedent for future citizen-driven actions along the river. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Old Port.
During the night of August 7th, three separate incidents unfolded across the island, stretching from the eastern neighborhoods to the western boroughs. Police investigations revealed each event shared similar tactics and timing, leading officers to consider a possible organized crime connection. The first disturbance occurred in the east, near the Hochelaga-Maisonneuve area, where an armed confrontation left several individuals injured. A second episode unfolded in the central district of the plateau, involving a coordinated burglary of multiple storefronts. The third incident took place in the west, around the Westmount vicinity, where a vehicle was set ablaze in a suspected retaliation. Authorities have not released further details, but the pattern of simultaneous attacks has prompted a citywide alert and a heightened police presence throughout the night. The incidents unfolded within about 2 hours, prompting the SPVM to boost patrols citywide. No arrests have been announced. Later we'll hear how actor Pierre-Luc Brillant is stepping back into politics as the PQ candidate for Rosemont again. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Yesterday, the Parti Québécois confirmed that actor Pierre-Luc Brillant will again lead its campaign in the Rosemont riding. Brillant, who first stepped onto the political stage in Rosemont 3 years ago, was officially renominated at a gathering in the neighborhood's community center, where local activists, small business owners, and fellow artists gathered to show support. Party officials said his return reflects both his strong local profile and the party's confidence in his ability to connect with voters. Brillant, known for a string of popular French-language films, thanked volunteers and pledged to focus on affordable housing, transit improvements, and protecting Francophone culture as the province heads toward the next election later this year. The nomination comes as the PQ seeks to rebuild its presence across the island ahead of the vote later this year.
Quebec officials voted this week to reserve the 57-year-old Saint-Air racetrack in Saint-Pie for a potential new high school, creating a land reserve on the historic site. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
Officials gathered at the historic Saint-Air racetrack this week, marking a vote to set aside the property as a land reserve for a future high school. The motion passed during the week of August 8, 2026, comes as the 57-year-old venue faces a new purpose beyond horse racing. Council members highlighted the need for additional school space in the region, and the racetrack's expansive grounds offer a ready-made site. The track sits on the outskirts of Saint-Pie, offering ample space for future construction. The decision does not yet name a school, but the reserve will keep the land available for education planning. Residents heard the proposal discussed on the track's grandstand, where the vote was recorded. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Saint-Pie. U.S. biotech firms have begun releasing hundreds of thousands of sterile mosquitoes into the environment, a biological control effort aimed at curbing the invasive Asian tiger mosquito that transmits dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. The program, launched Friday night, is being overseen by Etienne Normandin of the Institut de Recherche en Biologie Végétale at the University of Montreal, who said the released insects will compete with disease-carrying populations and reduce their numbers over time. The releases are occurring across several U.S. states, focusing on hotspots where tiger mosquito outbreaks have risen sharply in recent years. Researchers hope the strategy will lower infection risk without relying on chemical insecticides. The initiative follows similar trials in other regions and marks one of the largest mosquito release operations to date. Health officials will monitor the impact closely, tracking any changes in vector density and disease incidence in the weeks ahead.
Police in the Sûreté du Québec announced that the Silver Alert launched for an 80-year-old woman from Cowansville was lifted on Friday after she was safely located. The senior, whose disappearance prompted the province's senior missing alert system, was found by officers near her home, ending the need for the broadcast. Authorities said the prompt response and community tips helped locate her quickly, allowing the alert to be cancelled without further incident. The SQ reminded residents that the Silver Alert remains active until a missing senior is recovered, and thanked the public for their vigilance. The province's Silver Alert program, which can be triggered across the island and surrounding regions, mobilized patrols and volunteers to search the area. No injuries were reported and the woman is expected to return home for recovery.
Canada's unemployment rate dipped as Statistics Canada reports 75,000 new jobs nationwide, while Quebec's rate ticked up modestly. The latest monthly labor data shows mixed regional trends. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Canada's unemployment rate edged lower this month, while Quebec's rate inched up. Statistics Canada reports that the country added 75,000 jobs across the reporting period, a boost that helped pull the national figure down a fraction of a percentage point. In Quebec, the modest increase in jobless numbers translated into a small rise in the provincial rate despite the overall job growth. The agency releases these monthly labor market numbers each month, tracking hiring trends province by province. The latest data show a mixed picture, a national dip in unemployment alongside a slight uptick in the province of Quebec. The employment picture will continue to be monitored as the month progresses. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist, Alex.
A deepening high-pressure ridge and a fast western jet are suppressing rain and shaping tonight's clear skies. On this date, the all-time high reached 32.3 degrees Celsius in the summer of 2025, a brief spike during a regional heat wave that pushed many stations into the mid-30s. The cold record stands at 12.8 degrees Celsius, set in the winter of 2016 when an Arctic air mass slipped south behind a stalled front. Normal highs hover around 25 degrees and lows near 19, so today's 28-degree peak feels warm but still well below the historic extreme. The live radar shows a completely clear return across southern Quebec, with no echoes from the St. Lawrence Basin to the east. A high-pressure ridge dominates, and the western jet streak is aloft, keeping any moisture aloft and dry at the surface. With no precipitation in sight, the next hour will remain cloud-free, and the system will hold steady as we move into the evening. At 6 p.m., the city sits at 25 degrees Celsius under a mostly cloudy sky, humidity 63%, and a southwest flow of 14 kilometers per hour, gusting to 29. A high-pressure ridge is building and rising, while a fast western jet at roughly 154 kilometers per hour injects momentum aloft, sealing off lift and keeping moisture at bay. That same jet will steer any distant disturbances far to the north, so tonight remains dry. The UV index reads 5, and wind will peak near 25 kilometers per hour from the southwest, feeling brisk on exposed surfaces. No weather alerts are active. As the clouds thin after sunset, we now turn to the 5-day outlook. Monday will stay under the same high pressure, delivering another warm day near 28 degrees Celsius with overcast skies that will limit sunshine. Tuesday shifts to a drier pattern, clear skies, and a high of 25 degrees, allowing nighttime temperatures to dip to 18. Wednesday remains mostly clear, high 25, but a 20% chance of rain late evening introduces a slight chance of showers. Thursday brings the most active weather, a low-level front nudging in, bringing light rain and a 70% probability, with temperatures falling to 15 and a high of 24. Friday rounds out the stretch with a return to clear skies, high 22 and lows 15, a calm finish to the week. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Up next, traffic updates. A look at today's events like the Anime Rave and Cobb Day Party, plus Good Food Spotlight. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. All major arteries are clear this afternoon. Autoroute 6 runs free from the St. Laurent Bridge eastward and Boulevard St. Laurent moves smoothly through downtown. Rue Saint-Denis shows no delay and the Daiquiri and Ville-Marie expressways report smooth flow. The Autoroute 15 corridor to the airport is steady and the Champlain Bridge southbound is moving freely. No accidents or construction are holding up traffic at this hour. Expect a gradual build-up around the usual rush hour window, especially on the southbound lanes of the Trans-Canada as commuters head home. Later this evening, traffic may pick up on the southbound lanes of the Daiquiri as schools let out, and the St. Laurent corridor could see a slight slowdown near the Université du Québec campus. Metro lines run on schedule and the bus network stays fully operational. The eastern districts of Mercier and Hochelaga also see light traffic, and the Lachine Canal Bridge remains uncongested. So if you're leaving now, you should enjoy an easy ride.
First up, the parade rolls through the village on Rue Sainte-Catherine-Est at 1 p.m., a burst of color and music that turns the city into a celebration of love and community. If you're craving a louder beat, Hash presents the Montreal Anime Rave at Les Fous-Founds Electriques, an electronic-driven night where anime fans and dance lovers collide. For art lovers wandering downtown, Under Pressure at Place des Festivals fills the streets with over 100 street artists and live musicians, turning every corner into a pop-up gallery. And for a quieter escape, the Nature Walk and Crochet at the Grand Staircase of Mount Royal invites you to breathe fresh air, then unwind with yarn in a guided workshop. Later this evening, Isle Sonic on Park Jean-Drapeau kicks off an electronic music marathon with international DJs, a perfect preview of the summer's biggest beats. All these happenings bring a slice of Montreal's vibrant summer to today's schedule. And now here's Jason with sports.
Habs gearing up for a pivotal offseason as development and depth take center stage. Forward Vinzenz Rohrer, still on his 3-year entry-level deal signed in June 2025, heads to EV Zug in the Swiss National League for the remainder of the 2026-27 campaign. The loan gives Montreal a chance to accelerate his development while freeing a roster spot for emerging talent. Goalie Jacob Dobish says he's ready whether Montreal runs a 2-net or 3-net rotation this season. The flexibility lets the club lean on its youthful core, still fresh from deep playoff runs, and keeps the net competition sharp heading into the stretch. Defenseman Lane Hutson is projected to become the league's top blue liner within 5 years, while Ivan Demidov and Hutson anchor what many call the Canadiens' best value contracts. Pairing those deals with a wave of max-length signings mirrors the strategy of the Panthers and Hurricanes. The latest top under-20 list flags 9 near-miss prospects who have shown NHL-level skill but haven't cracked a roster spot. With 6 graduates already in the league, the depth chart tightens, pushing these skaters and unproven goalies to fight for a call-up. Arbor X-Heked's refugee to NHL journey adds a human element to Montreal's narrative, while 3 camp surprise candidates could reshape the roster. Ville Koivunen's 8-year, $32 million deal may set the tone for Zachary Bolduc's negotiations, and a steady stream of WHL alumni bolsters the prospect pool. The project's tier spotlights prospects hovering between long shot and NHL-ready status. 3 of them hail from the 2026 draft, while an equal handful arrived via off-season moves to the Laval Rocket, injecting fresh talent into a deep development pipeline.
Good Food, the Mile End-based meal kit pioneer, has just secured creditor protection as it reshapes its finances. The company, which delivers fresh, chef-crafted recipes to homes across Canada, filed an application with the Superior Court of Quebec under the company's Creditors Arrangement Act and is now pursuing a formal sale and new investment. With roughly 230 staff nationwide, Good Food assures there will be no immediate job losses from the court process. For Mile End, the move means the local hub that once buzzed with delivery trucks and kitchen crews can stay a vibrant employer and keep feeding families with convenient, sustainable meals. It's a reminder that Montreal's culinary spirit endures, even when the business landscape shifts. Coming up, police intervene as 3 youths are asked to leave a soccer match in Hochelaga Maisonneuve. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Police officers intervened at Maisonneuve Elementary, forcing 3 preteens off a schoolyard soccer game in Hochelaga, Maisonneuve on Tuesday evening. No injuries reported. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
At about 7 p.m. on August 7th, 2 patrol cars pulled up to the courtyard of Maisonneuve Elementary School in the Hochelaga-Maisonneuve neighborhood. 5 officers stepped out and after an exchange, ordered 3 pre-adolescent boys playing a soccer game to leave the area. The youngsters complied and were escorted off. No further incident was reported, and the police presence cleared the disturbance without arrests. The response was prompted solely by the youth's activity in the playground. Authorities said the action was meant to keep order after school. One parent, Noam Arbiaoui, observed the officers and noted the boys were just enjoying a game after class. The fenced courtyard, normally bustling during recess, fell silent once police departed. School staff were notified as teachers resumed supervision. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Hochelaga, Maisonneuve.
A private island nestled between Montreal and Laval has hit the market for $50,000, a rare find sparking notable public interest across the region. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
An 8-acre private island nestled in the channel that separates Montreal from Laval has hit the market for $50,000. The parcel, accessible only by boat, features a modest dock, a single wooden cabin, and a handful of mature trees, according to the online listing posted earlier this week. Real estate platforms note that islands are a rarity in the greater Montreal region, and the unique offering has already attracted a wave of inquiries from local buyers and weekend getaway enthusiasts. No public infrastructure serves the island, and utilities are limited to solar panels and a portable generator. Prospective purchasers will need to arrange their own ferry or water taxi to reach the secluded shore. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Laval.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's standout was the shoreline cleanup launch along the St. Lawrence River, a hopeful step for our community. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to you. I'm Mark Beaumont, and I'll see you then.